so this is the long awaited video for the boss Ignis explanation, and don't mind the mess. I'm still working on cleaning it all up, but basically everything is in this folder for the boss Ignis. So the first part is the apostate sword, which is the weapon that he drops. It has two parts. It has first the Ignis sword, which fires these beams, and if you're standing on the ground, it fires a horizontal beam, and if you're standing up, it fires a vertical beam. And a special ability of it is if you're sneaking and you right click, it transforms into the apostate sword temporarily. And if you're on the ground, it has a effect. If I remember right, it fires tracking beams of like 4 damage or something. And over here, it tags so that I know who is wielding it, so it can detect them and do some stuff with that. And in movement, this is the movement of the apostate sword projectiles. They will deal damage, and if you look over here, all mobs are tagged with dead if they are dead. And this helps me determine whether or not to apply instant damage or instant health to them as a means to damage them, because this data pack, it's still made back for a server in 1.19.3, so I kind of did it back then. Unfortunately, I have not yet gone around to the newer versions, but in newer versions you could just do /damage whatever. Alright, and over here this is a cooldown system for some abilities. Yeah, it adds cooldown, and when it also tags you to add this cooldown thing, so it knows you're in cooldown, and this is the actual timer of the cooldown. Over here, this is in air. It will create an explosion that stuns enemies based off a custom effect. And sneak plus right click. This triggers another ability. It's a dash, a lot of particles, and you move forward. It's a pretty basic one. I've not yet made a cooldown for that. I've been a little lazy. And now into the main bulk of the actual boss's scoreboard. It's a pretty big one, as you might be able to tell. Yeah, it's not as neat as the new ones, but it's neat enough for me to understand, so that's fine. So this is the driver. It will add the scoreboard so that it moves up and ticks. Over here are a bunch of things. I just did it like this. Oh yeah, another thing is this one, it resets at 600 ticks back to 0, so it re-loops and all that. And here, in this one, I did it so at different intervals, it would trigger this kind of effect where he gains sudden speed along with the particle effect. I just did it like this because it would happen a bunch of times, so I just set it all in one block, I guess. So if I need troubleshoot, I could just get to it. And over here, these are slashes, dash slashes, I think, where it would check if there's enough space in front of him, and then if there is, it would teleport him forward. And it's facing nearest P, so that it would be checking to see, no, not checking, I mean, it would teleport towards the nearest player, I'm pretty sure. And over here, it then spawns this, this armor stand with Ignis slash. That's the thing that actually generates the slash effect. This thing then has multiple things acting on it in a different function that instantly kills it, basically, but before it kills it, one tick before, it would summon this particle effect, make a sound effect, and also damage the player. Before it disappears. So it's kind of like an instant slash effect. And over here, I believe this is another one. Probably separate it here. And yeah, over here, this is a bigger AoE slash effect. As you can see, it does a lot more damage. And this one also stuns the player, I think. And this thing over here, this is what kind of choreographs, I guess. It tells you ahead of time that the attack is going to happen because it's a really strong one, so that you have some time to get out of its range. Approximately like 1.5 seconds. Yeah. And it would stun you for a little bit. And also would slow down the boss so that he can't keep chasing you while you're running away and then slash you. So yeah, he slows down right before or right as he does it, I guess. Actually, no, he slows down before he does it as well. That's good. Okay, let's see. Over here, these lines, he fires lightning bolts at you. So basically, he fires out one armor stand. It will teleport itself to face the nearest player. Then it'll keep on moving. And yeah, these are the things that move. I don't know why there's two, but I could probably remove one of those because it's redundant. And basically, it'll just summon lightning at an interval, and then it'll damage players. It's pretty. Over here, yes, the boom dash. So it'll shoot out a line. Well, it'll first shoot out one armor stand that is invisible, and oh yeah, all armor stands are invisible, by the way. And okay, so the armor stand will shoot out, and as it goes, it will spawn these other armor stands. And this is based off of where the boss was looking at, by the way. Actually, no, it'll based off of the player location at the start of the attack, which is 450 ticks. And then, yeah, and then at the end of this attack, he'll teleport to the end line of that attack of armor stands summoned, and all of the armor stands along the way will explode before deleting themselves. Yeah, he also gets a resistance effect, so he doesn't take damage from it. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful attack. And on the server where this usually runs, there's this realistic explosion physics thing, so blocks will go flying and it'd be really cool. Over here are some lines where he says some stuff to demoralize the enemy, or the player, I mean. But yeah, I might implement a new system to make it more random and not so that he doesn't repeat himself so much, but not right now. Over here. Yes. This is the one where he defends himself from ranged attacks. So if you shoot an arrow at him, when it reaches within 3 blocks of himself, it'll play a particle of sweeping attack at the arrow before it kills the arrow. And it also plays a slash effect, sound effect. So he is impervious to arrows pretty much, although I'm pretty sure there's a chance it could slip through occasionally. Alright, and over here are phase 2 attacks. This is where he starts getting really strong. In the original thing, he did a lot of damage, which is why I nerfed him a little bit, but in the phase 2, I added a new attack that strengthens him even further. First, he creates a dust particle effect and slows down, and then he'll leap into the air using this data merge motion command, and then he'll get slow falling and resistance. But while he's in the air, he'll fire down radiant spears that are extremely powerful. And yeah, over here. If the radiant spear detects that it is in a block that is not air, it'll summon an explosion, the explosion radius of 4, which is pretty powerful, and it does plenty of damage. Yeah, it'll do this multiple times, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, over here, the final 2 times are when it's on its 3rd phase. So the second phase, it'll only do it 3 times, but when it's reached its final phase, also known as its last health bar, it'll do this 5 times. So you better dodge those. Yeah. And over here, this is a thing ripped out of another data pack, I think, where it generates a circle of armor stands. This is pretty complicated, so I'm not sure if I can fully explain that, but it does what it needs to do, and basically, at the Radiant Spear's explosion, when they hit the ground, it'll create a circle, and there'll be some particle effects coming out of it, because I thought that'd be very cool, and it indeed is. So yeah, that's that. It'll remove the circle afterwards, and yeah, this just does that a bunch more times. And this is particle driver for the circle, I believe. Yeah. So over here, it just runs the particles and has it move. So it's expanding. Over here is the Radiant Spears particle, where the particles make up the main body of it, since the armor stand is invisible. It's pretty basic. It's just a line with some little details next to it. It's pretty cool, actually. And over here is another phase 2 attack, where it summons a bunch of shulker bullets that will trace the player. This could probably be tied into a single function, then ran all at once rather than running this so many times. But I have not yet done that, but I will do that soon, probably right after I record this. Yeah, and it will do this stuff, and then over here, this sets the target UUI. the target data thing of the shulker bullet to the nearest player, so that it'll target the nearest player. And okay, this just does additional instant damage to it, gives a particle effect, and it'll kill itself upon hitting someone, so that it does the effect without doing too much instant damage. And also over here, the final life, it will, at this part, it'll teleport the boss, Ignis, to the nearest player. Is it? No. Wait, yeah, it is. Okay, it'll teleport him on top of the nearest player, 10 blocks above the nearest player to be precise. And it'll do this thing where it'll fire a downward radiant spear. So it's basically a radiant spear, as mentioned above, but it goes straight downward, and I'm pretty sure it does more damage with an explosion radius of 5. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it could detonate on blocks and players. And this will remove it. This will remove the radiant spear stuff after a little bit, more like something like 3 seconds, yeah. This function over here is the main music driver. I'll get back to that momentarily after I get through the rest of this. The boss bar flasher. This is inspired by a really cool data pack I played a while back at a summer camp called the Nyctacosm. And in it, the boss bars all flashed when you hit the boss. I thought that was extremely cool because normal boss bars are really static, I felt. So yeah, I added the flasher system. So it's basically when it hits, it'll set the boss bar to a different color. It runs a short scoreboard timer thing where it'll set it back and forth for a little bit so that it gives the impression of flashing. Yeah, it's just over here. It's pretty simple. Actually, I'm not sure why it runs twice. Yeah, you could probably remove one of those. Yeah. I think I moved some things around a while back, so yeah, there might be some redundant things here. Oh well. Alright, when it gets hurt, it will also run these particle effects, such as blood and a flash of light. And it also plays sound of Blaze being hurt because it's a really cool metallic sound. And over here, this is for the second phase part. So it will check that it's just the tag Ignis, and if the timer is this, oh yeah. When it reaches this much health, it will set this specific timer to 1, and it'll also make him invulnerable and have no AI, so he stops moving, and it'll start talking. And when the timer is over 1, it will start adding 1 constantly. So yeah, it goes through this talk, yada yada yada. It'll play some sounds, and it'll go through phase 2 transition, which I'll get to in a second as well. And when, yeah, okay, so this part makes it so when he's talking, he doesn't keep attacking you because that's not very fair. And this part is the final transition from phase 2 to 3. So we'll check that he is indeed in phase 2 and that he has not yet gone to phase 3 so that it doesn't keep looping around to phase 3 endlessly. And yeah, you go through talking, sound effects, phase 3 transition. I'll get to that in a second. Again, and this is his final death. You'll check that he actually can die, which is, that tag is gained over here in the phase 3 transition. Yeah. So, yeah, okay, so when he actually dies, he'll go through the talking again, and it'll run a timer, and he'll do the talking, yada yada. And then he'll go through his final actual death function. And yeah, this stuff just removes some light from the second phase transition, or third phase, I forgot, where you create a beam of light. And this just removes the light, so that's pretty cool. So let's get into final death function. So basically this one just tags it with final death. Oh wait. Okay, upon its final death, it will tag all the players around it with the killed Ignis in order to do this fake kind of advancement thingy, I guess, because I don't know how to make an actual advancement. So yeah, it'll do this thing. It'll make it look like you made an achievement, and that works for what I'm doing temporarily. And it'll run this cool sound effect, and also kill lightning strikes, and it'll kill the actual boss. And then it'll set these things back to normal, and it will make it so players can no longer see the boss bar. For the music, it's pretty simple. Just a simple looping. So I got the time in seconds of this song, and then I multiplied it by 20 to get it in ticks, and then I just set it so it'll constantly go up when it's set to 1 or higher, so I can start and end the loop properly. And when it's 5,540, it will start the song again, because that's when it ends, and it will reset right after, so you can continue looping. At phase 2, it will merge the data of this, because I changed several parts of armor, his weapons, as well as attributes. So this does it all in one. It'll change the name a little bit to the second phase name. It'll change to red. And it'll also summon lightning bolt at him, give him the tag. And it will also play these particles, well, create these particle effects. And he'll have a red glow now instead of a white one. And he'll return to normal and regain his AI and will be able to take damage, and he'll stop talking. At phase 3, he will return from around close to 0 health back to 200, which is half of his health bar. He will be tagged with his final life, and these particles and all this stuff will play. This armor stand is the light, as mentioned at the very end of the boss scoreboard, and yeah, it just creates a pillar of light. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Over here, running ticks 3, it just runs these things every 3 ticks. This is the kind of, it's what makes the lightning projectile attack work. And running things, it just gets its health so that you can use it for stuff. It's mainly to use for the phase changes to detect how much health he's at and stuff. This one runs extra particles at the shulker bolt. And this one, if there's no one around him, he will heal back to full health. Because, that way if you die and you come back, he'll be at full health. So you can't just keep coming back, I guess. You gotta beat him in one try. Well, one life, I guess, yeah. And over here, it'll set it so if you're close, you could see it at the boss bar. If you're far, you can't see it. And yeah, I think that's about it for this one. Oh, right, and this one, it's a kind of experimental system where he'll dynamically target players. So if you're close, I guess, or if you're out of range, I don't know. It's a thing. I'm still working on. And this is a spawn sequence. Basically, when you first enter the church thing, it will set the scoreboard for the spawn sequence to 1, and it'll, at this Ignis Center, there's a marker at the place. It'll play the initiation music. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe.